You buy a house thinking it is yours. You sign papers, shake hands, get the keys. You paint the walls, hang family photos, plant flowers by the porch. You believe you are safe. You believe you are home. But sometimes something else believes it owns the place too, and it does not like new tenants. In 2014, Derek and Maria Broaddus, a successful, well-educated couple with 3 young children, fell in love with 657 Boulevard in Westfield, New Jersey. It is a quiet, wealthy suburb with top-rated public schools, tree-lined streets, and white picket fences. It was the perfectly painted version of the American dream. They paid $1.3 million for the property and closed on the home in September. 3 days after they received their keys, they found the first letter in their mailbox. Dear new owner, welcome to 657 Boulevard. I have been watching this house for decades, and now I am watching you. It was signed simply, The Watcher. There was no return address. The postmark confirmed it was mailed from Westfield. They called the local police department immediately. Investigators found no fingerprints on the envelope or the paper, and no security cameras in the neighborhood had captured anyone approaching the property to leave the mail. The letters did not stop coming. Have you found all of the secrets I have hidden inside the walls? I wonder how many children you have. I have been counting them. Beware the windows at night. I am always looking in. The Broadduses installed high-end security cameras, motion sensors, floodlights, and even hired private armed security to patrol the property. They never caught anyone. What makes this story different from every other generic haunted house tale you have heard before? There was no ghost, no poltergeist, no demonic entity. Only words written on paper delivered by the United States Postal Service. And somehow, that's far worse. The Broadduses began to dig into the history of the home, speaking to longtime neighbors, local historians, and retired police officers who worked in Westfield for decades. What they found was more terrifying than any of the letters they had received. They were not the first victims. In the 1920s, a family named the Johnses purchased the home. They received identical anonymous letters and abandoned the property abruptly less than 6 months after moving in. In the 1950s, the Woods family bought the home. They received the same letters, panicked, and sold the property for far less than they paid for it. In the 1980s, another family moved in. The letters returned, all signed with the exact same name, The Watcher. We all knew not to talk about it. You never brought up The Watcher at PTA meetings or at neighborhood block parties. It was our little town's secret. It was like believing in Santa Claus, except Santa Claus wanted to watch you suffer. This was not a haunting. This was a tradition, a ritual passed down through generations, not by blood, but by brick and mortar. A house that remembers and that reminds the people who move inside that they are never the ones in control. After a few weeks, the letters stopped being vague and became disturbingly personal. Your daughter plays soccer. She wears number 7. I watch her practice after school. Your son's bedroom faces east. He sleeps with his back to the glass. That is dangerous. Maria, you cry in the kitchen at 2:13 a.m. I can hear you. Police investigated every possible suspect. Persons of interest included a neighbor who lost a bidding war for the house, a local teenager known for his obsession with true crime, and even one of the contractors the family had hired to renovate the property. Every single suspect was cleared. Then, forensic handwriting analysts made a strange, unexplainable discovery. The phrasing, syntax, and handwriting style matched letters written between the 1920s and 1950s. There was no modern slang, no references to internet culture, no turns of phrase common to people writing in the 2010s. It was perfectly period accurate. It was as if the letters were not being written in 2014 at all, but sent to 2014 from some other place or some other time. The Broadduses never moved into the home. They couldn't bring themselves to raise their children in a house where someone watched every move they made. Years later, they sold the property at a massive loss to a developer who publicly promised he would tear down the house to put an end to the legend. He never demolished it. Instead, he completed a full luxury renovation and listed the property for sale for $7 million. As of today, it remains on the market. No one has lived inside of 657 Boulevard since the Broadduses owned it. Local residents say if you walk past the property late at night, you'll sometimes see a light turned on in the upstairs bedroom that no one has access to. If you stand close enough to the front door and listen carefully, you might hear the soft rustle of an envelope being slid under the door for a family that has not lived there for years. Some houses are not haunted by ghosts. They are haunted by attention, by someone or something that refuses to let go, that watches, that waits, that writes. If you ever find a house that seems too good to be true, check the mailbox before you unpack.